In the following interview by the Ledger-Inquirer, WRBL3, and the Macon Telegraph, you will hear then District Attorney Julia Slater respond to newfound evidence presented in court, such as if the semen didn't match, would they be willing to do further testing? Will they cold case the crime? Was the DNA entered into CODIS? And what are her thoughts to one of the jurors who was on the original jury, now looking over the evidence, again stating he never would have voted for the death penalty? Julia Slater responds multiple times as though she doesn't understand the question or she isn't going to comment to specifics about the case. Make sure to watch her facial expressions as she is being asked those questions and how she starts her interview with a sweet, prim, and proper Southern smile, and then furrows her forehead, brow, and face, appears to become somewhat angered, and then by the end of the interview answers aggressively that this has been presented at multiple hearings and they've said everything they've wanted to say.
I was just curious, because the DNA test results were so inconsistent on some of it, was anybody talking about possibly testing more evidence?
I'm not sure I understand your question. Is who talking about that?
Well, since some of the DNA came back a match in some of the cases, whether they were similar transactions or not, but and then the diamond stains supposedly did match. There seems to be a lot of other things that could be tested for DNA. Has anybody asked you to do that, or would you guys be willing to do anything like that?
I'm not going to answer that question.
If semen didn't match, you don't consider that a cold case? Did you enter that semen into CODIS?
I'm not going to answer really specific questions about the case.
And what are your thoughts, ma'am, just on one of the jurors who now says that he was a very young man at the time, however, now looking over the evidence again, had he known what he knew then, he never would have voted for a death penalty for Gary in that case?
I don't have any comment.
Okay.
And the DNA, it's our understanding that the DNA and the serology results conflict. How is that physically possible?
I'm not sure I understand your question, but I'm not going to answer any specific questions about the science of the case. We've had multiple hearings on it, and I think we've said everything we wanted to say at the hearings.
Okay.
Stay tuned for the next part in this series.